Hey, what's up everyone? We are back in the dungeons on our high level accounts going after Crypt of the Living Dead 4. This is actually the very last dungeon mission here, and this base is very difficult right now. They have elite boost on some of the towers and some of the units. You can see the paladins there and then the bomb towers. So looking at it, it doesn't look that intimidating. Honestly, it doesn't. But when you actually go in there, the waves are so massive. There's just so many towers everywhere. It is a beast to go after. So what we're going to try and do here is we're going to try and get as far as we possibly can without scrolling. But we're definitely not going to be able to beat this one 100% without using any scrolls or anything. But I have no reason to try and beat 100%. We already got the reward for it. We've beat this before they rebalanced it and added the elite boosts. But we're just going to show off how difficult this base is and try and look at a good strategy that we can use to go through here. So tons and tons of mummies. Mummies are weak to fire. So we might be bringing pyromancers along here. He also has ogres in his second spot, which means we definitely need some archers. So you can see the only weakness that mummy has is fire at 50%. They're resistant to piercing and they're resistant to poison. So although we have to bring archers for the ogres, the archers aren't going to do much damage to the mummy because they're going to take 50% of that damage away. So we might do archers and pyromancers. And try that setup right here. It also costs a ton of bread to do this. You have to pay nearly 800 bread, 720 bread to try and even fight this battle. So very bread consuming. So we can go in like this. I'm debating on whether taking the cannons out and putting in a mummy. Mummy, if they can get some stun spells off, it would definitely help us keep our life up some. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. We will take our cannon away. If we had elite boosted cannon, I probably would put the elite boosted cannon in. But here goes nothing. So, initial thoughts here, start off with a mummy, because you want the mummy to stun anything that you can possibly get to. So wait, build up a mummy, and then again get another mummy out as soon as possible. You want to get that stun off. Get 2 mummies out there. Now we can start bringing out some archers and some pyromancers. Make sure that you try and kick the bombs as much as possible. Try and keep the mummies alive with the heal spell. See, it's very difficult to keep the mummies alive. Both mummies are dead. We are now going to start bringing out another mummy. And we are going to sit back here and try and regenerate some. Unfortunately, that mummy just got wasted. Couldn't get the heal spell off in time. So you can see we didn't even get very far. And we blew through so much of our time. That is very difficult, and it's just overwhelming with how many monsters you're fighting, how strong the towers are. The amount of troops that you're up against is just, again, overwhelming, and we wasted 720 bread right there. So even using scrolls, what you probably will want to do is you'll probably want to bring the blessing scroll in here, so then you can heal up all your units. And what I'll give you a little quick mini map guide of how I would probably approach this if you are really desperate at trying to get the mummy right now unlocked. Because otherwise, my recommendation has been to just wait this out and let them rebalance it further. because eventually they're going to make this easier. There's no question about it. They did this early. They rebalanced it, made it easier. And then when they introduced the elite boost, they kind of, I don't know, didn't think about balances on these dungeons and now made them extremely difficult. So what I would do is I would pop a blessing scroll right here, right at that choke point. So that means all of your units that you summon out from your tent are going to get full HP as they go through here. So they're pretty much going to be invincible. And then if by some stroke of miracle you're able to rush your hero through and then get over here in time, you can use the blessing scroll again to, heal up. Or if the blessing scroll has dispersed and has gone away because it's already used up all its healing power, you can pop another blessing scroll right here when you get to the other side, and that way you can not only heal your hero right around here, but you can also pop it close to the corner here and it will heal all your units that are coming up through this pathway right here. For that setup, I would recommend using cannons, because you do want to have cannons available to shoot down some of the buildings, and you do want to be able to leave some of the buildings standing and just rush forward with your hero. So my recommendation would be cannons probably instead of mummies. The archers and the pyromancers using the blessing scroll, and then using either the Armageddon or Apocalypse scroll, depending on which one that you like better. Armageddon does more damage, but it is very, very costly. It is also a longer cooldown. So depending on your level will depend on how strong the scrolls are. But yeah, blessing with one of those scrolls. And then with that being said, I would try and rush through this section as fast as possible with your Blade Storm and Sonic Blasts, and then use that Apocalypse or Armageddon scroll like right up here. You can see there's a whole bunch of towers, so if you can take down most of those, you should be in pretty good shape. And then again, as you get over here, pop your Blessing Scroll again for the second time, so then you can keep recovering all your units that are coming up through here. That would be my tip for how to try and go after this. The problem is if you get stuck on these barricades and blockades, if you can't get through those quick enough, you might have to end up using your first Armageddon or Apocalypse scroll right here, and then kind of just bypassing all of this, just running through as fast as possible to get over here, because there's only 2 blockades, which you should be able to take those down, maybe in 2 Blade Storms. And then for doing that setup, you might also want to swap out the heal spell for the stun spell. If you use the stun spell in the situation, since there's so many buildings together, then you'll take less damage, and you're just hoping that you can survive until you can get over to the Blessing Scroll. So it would be something possibly like this. Again, your scrolls, your spells have to be leveled up. You see our stun spell is level 10. That would be possibly how I would run through this base, and I would expect to use probably 3 of these guys and possibly 2 of these guys, maybe die, and then use another set of those scrolls. That's probably what I would be expecting to use to beat this base at around level 80. But again, that is all in theory, and that's a lot of scrolls to use. So if you're using 2 or 3 of these guys, that's already like 60, 70 pearls. If you're using 4 of these guys, that's about 40 or 50 gems. And then if you're dying once, that's another 18 gems. So about 70 pearls, 70 gems. That's quite a bit. So again, my recommendation is just wait this out, level up some, not try and struggle on Crypt of the Living Dead 4. And just, again, wait for some balance changes to happen, because I have a feeling that they will make this easier. There's been a lot of complaints about the difficulty being very, very unfair to new players. Players that are already achieved and beaten these levels have advanced level troops, and now the new players can't get through these bases even with lots of gems and lots of deaths. If you have any tips or tricks that you want to pass along, definitely drop them down below. Help out anyone that you have. Also, if you know of any great videos for the Elite Boosted Crypt of the Living Dead 4, definitely drop that down below and give some feedback on those guys. Thanks for watching.